Class, today we are going to be talking about things that rot your brain. Teacher, I hear the Ron Taylor report will rot my brain. Is that true?
What a tool.
Well, that's correct, Susie. If you listen to the Rob Taylor report, it will rot your brain. Therefore, you must dive under your desk, grab the back of your head, and do the duck and cover maneuver. Let's see this example. Mama, I want to watch the Rob Taylor report. Timmy, no!
It's too late. You've been warned. Children should not watch the Rob Taylor report.
Somebody please think of the children!
Hey, everybody. I got a motley crew on with me tonight. I've got, of course, Marty Kuhrt. Marty Kuhrt's been skiing in Utah. Yes, be jealous, be jealous. You should be. And, of course, we got TJ Stocks from Stocks Family Farms in here, going to talk about his editing style, his interviewing style, and how he goes about talking to these crazy leftists during many of these protests, like the No Kings protests that have been happening here in Coos Bay. And we're going to talk to them about all of that good stuff. But first, I want to hear how they're doing. Marty, how you doing, man?
I am doing just fine, thank you. I just got back last night. I am still tired from 4 days of skiing in Alta and Solitude and finding out that I'm not getting any better at skiing and hit an ice slick and slid down about 100 yards downhill without any skis. So I'm going, why am I renting skis? I'm doing much better just sliding on my face. So
It's like the older you get, the suckier you get. I thought I was really cool at roller skates until I took my granddaughter roller skating. Then I found out Grandpa sucks.
yeah. I went to, we have an ice arena nearby. And, I used to be a hockey player. So it's like, got my hockey skates out, went down to the arena, bought some, rented some time on the rink because, they have open skate time, just pay your money. And I was like, getting ready, lacing it up and watching all these people. And there's some people that had the equivalent of ice walkers. So you couldn't really, couldn't hold yourself up on skates on ice. So you had to use a walker. And I was like, oh, yeah, I just like, and I get out on the ice and I'm like, oh, crap, I think I'm going to need one of those.
Yeah,
But
totally.
it took me 15 minutes to get to where I could like comfortably stand up, and then it was another 15 minutes to get to where I could actually cross over and stop decently, and I put my phone up against the boards, and and then I skated up, and I was gonna like do a side slide and spray snow onto my phone. I skated up, did a side slide, lost my feet, and all you saw was the phone being knocked off the boards because I hit the board so hard. So it was like, yeah, that's a win.
Very cool. Very
Yes,
cool.
I am the cool skater. Ouch.
Yeah, that just it just you get older and you forget that the center of gravity for your body has now moved just enough to make you completely very unbalanced at any particularly precarious position.
Yeah, and all the things that used to be muscle memory are just fading memories. There is no muscle involved, or where it's like, yeah, I used to be able to do this, and now I'm like, I can't even. My body's going, yeah, you used to, but you forgot, didn't you? I'm like,
Didn't you?
thanks, didn't you?
So Chris Tuff is he just put on a comment. Let me see if I can
Yo.
get that up there. And he says, yo, Chris Tuff. He can't talk about it because he's in the middle of it right now, but I guess he's taking some heat for the video he made at the drag show, the pedo prom that went on here in Coos Bay at the Pony. Actually, that was North Bend, the Pony Village Mall. And he's, from what I understand, he's been suspended for a little while, which really sucks. It's not fair. It's not right. And he has a right to his freedom of speech. It's weird because if you're one of these weirdos, if you're a man and you like to dress as a woman, flamboyant. How do you say that?
Flamboyantly. Yeah.
Flamboyantly, then thank you, gentlemen. then you might have a problem, because that's just weird that you would want an audience of children. And somehow those people are not losing their jobs. It's people like Chris who is standing up saying, no, we don't want our kids exposed to this garbage. We certainly don't want our tax dollars going for it. And we don't want the taxpayer's name on it and sanctioning this perversion. And that's exactly what happened. And Chris stood up against it, and he suffered the consequences. And I call bullshit on that. And Stocks Family Farm, I didn't ask you, how are you doing? And what do you think about this Chris Tuff situation?
I doing good. I've been trying to get a lot of stuff done around here. I got dump loads or loads to go to the dump. I planted potatoes and onions and broccoli already. Got my artichokes going. And tearing down my greenhouse and rebuilding that. Like, I've been busy. As far as Chris goes, that was my first time ever meeting him. I had never met him before. I didn't know anything about him or anything like that, or him who, as he goes by online. And I apparently, like, from what I understand, is they say that he tried to go back into that area after he was told he wasn't allowed to, but I mean, I live streamed the whole thing almost from the moment I walked up to him, right. But all the way until the end, until we all left together. Well, I mean, we didn't leave together, but we all left at the same time. But so yeah, what's happening to him is, I mean, it's a witch hunt. It's they want to make an example of people. That's why whoever called and reported into his job, they're trying to send a warning to me, him, and anybody else that wants to expose anything. That's what they're doing. This is a warning shot. Same way they've been posting all this stuff online. I mean, I've been posted, like, I never wanted to be the political guy at all. This wasn't my intention when I started my YouTube page or anything like that. I just wanted to go down.
I want you to know, TJ, I'm still working to be the lead singer of this new group called Led Zeppelin. And I've been working on it just a little while. And I think I've got it. So when I get it, you know what I mean? I'm going to dump this political gig and I'm moving on to my dreams. Okay. Just to let you know.
Yeah.
No. I mean, but it was just kind of thrown on me. I sympathize for Chris 100%. Like, what's happening to him is totally unfair. I mean, the cops told us. So originally the security guard told me 72 hours, right? And I told the cop that, and he's like, "Oh no, he told us it was just 24 hours." The cop said that, and I have that all on video. I upload everything. And there's been a few clips of mine going on Facebook. I don't even have Facebook, but there's a few clips of mine, and like, where they're trying to trash, like, people are standing up against TJ. Well, I mean, the video is literally me standing there waiting to cross the street, and I'm like, man, we should talk. We should have dialogue. Right. Like, I'm kind to these people, and they don't know how to handle it. They don't know how to handle it.
Well, as far as I could tell, you guys were absolutely perfectly fine in what you did the whole night you were there. I watched the entire stream from beginning to end. I was right here in the house. I was sitting next to my wife, and we watched it together on our TV. And then later that night, I continued watching it. You guys did nothing wrong. I didn't see anywhere where Chris went back into the parking lot. That never happened. And for anyone to make these claims, it's just another way for them. It's like when they say, "You're scaring us. Your words are violence." Those are the types of statements that try to implicate you and make you part of something that you're not, some type of violent fiend, some type of thug. And we're not thugs. We're just talking about talking.
It's all projection. I mean, they're basically doing projection, whereas, like, we are accusing you of what we are actually doing. They are running cancel culture. They've been doing this. This is their reason d'etre. This is their reason for being, is that they can't win a viable debate. They can't make people understand what about their cause, whatever their cause may be, is something viable. But if you even just point out the fact that they're doing what they're doing, now it's reason for them to come after us. And so they're saying, oh, we're scary and we're doing bad things to them. And I'm like going, no, we're just pointing out that you're being bad people. And we're not scary at all. We're just shining lights on cockroaches. And cockroaches normally run and hide under things. Well, they're running and hiding, but they're also using their weapons of, they're using their cancel culture weapons to get people doxxed, to get people, in trouble with their jobs. And it's like, have we done the same thing to them? I mean, have we? I mean, it's like, yeah, we're trying to get the guy out of Southwest Oregon Community College, because he's got a laundry list of things, and he's working with children. Don't you think that's something that the Southwest Oregon Community College should do, and not us pointing it out? But anyway, the whole idea of, like Data Republican, who is like basically just pointing out, gross fraud in government, has gotten death threats. Her husband's whiskey business has been, attacked, and, and so forth and so on. And this is the only thing they got going. I mean, they are part of a terrorist organization, and they're like the low-level pawns. And they've got people, the people that are doing the No King stuff, these people are well organized. They are being paid. I can give you the laundry list of the, like the 200 some odd $1 million that are backing these quote unquote grassroots efforts. And these keyboard warriors hide behind their keyboards, hide in their basements, hide behind their moms, and basically terrorize people, with their anonymity, because they think they're online and they can't be tracked. Well, let me tell you something. As a guy who has been a computer expert for since 1980 something, if I wanted to find you, I could find you. And if I wanted to create a problem, oh boy, would I. Have I?
Nice.
No. But
nice.
It could,
Very nice.
It could happen.
It could happen. It could happen. So, TJ,
Yes.
you've been out there, you've been talking with them, and I want to talk to you more about that. I've got your videos geared up to go that you had sent me. They're just fabulous. But before I do that, I want to talk about a couple of other things that we are doing. One of them is, well, let's see, I didn't get the file downloaded, is we just did a candidate forum for the Coos County Conservative Friends of the Coos County Republicans. That's what it is. And you filmed it. What did you, because I've been going to debates a long time. It seems like I have never seen you really at a candidates debate. Do you go to them often? And what did you think of the one that you filmed?
No, this is I've honestly I went down to all these protests. Okay, so a little bit of a backstory. I just went down to these protests just because these people are our neighbors, and I want to talk to them, and I want to find out what they're thinking, and I kind of want to, I don't want to be a YouTuber. That was never my intention. But these are our neighbors. We need to talk to them. Right. And but so at one of the protests, Tom Brown showed up, and he was following me around, and I called him Shadow. I thought he was one of the Democrats that was following me around. Yeah. And I was like, "Oh, you're my Shadow today? All right, come on, Shadow." And I didn't treat him very nice at first, and then like he started debating with some of the people too, and I was like, "Oh shit, this guy." Okay, like so it caught me off guard, and I apologized to him, and him and I hung out, and and that was what got me into starting to go to more political things. He's the one that took me to that county commissioners meeting. He's, and rest in peace, Tom. Like I really felt like this would be a good, I wanted to go to it. Like I just feel like now I've become a part of it unintentionally. A part of everything that's going on locally. And I think it's important that more people the transparency allows people to see it. and I enjoyed going to it. I enjoyed hearing it. And the event coming up with David Medina, like I've been following David Medina for years, and I'm excited about seeing that. Like, yeah, but an opportunity to hear these candidates talk, and also for me to throw a little shade at John Sweet, that was kind of nice. But yeah, that was. But I mean, yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. But yeah, I honestly, I want to credit Tom Brown for the one that actually got me to start like interacting with you guys and everything. Like if it wasn't for him, I don't think I probably would be where I'm sitting right now. You know?
Yeah, Tom did a lot of wonderful stuff, and I feel privileged the fact that I was a friend of his and I got to hang out with him all the time. And everywhere we had something going on, he would be there. And he was always a great guy to talk to, and I'm going to miss him a lot, and I wish the best for Nancy, and I'm just hoping things work out well, and he's going to be missed because he was basically sort of the one guy that you could count on always being there, being with you, having your back, and showing up and then just making it a fun time. I mean,
Right. Yeah.
we hung out at the fair and gathered signatures. And let me tell you, that's kind of a boring way to spend the day. But Rob and I and Tom would make it fun. I mean, we would try to do things to keep each other entertained, and it's just a shame that he's no longer with us, I think is the best way to
Yes,
put it.
100%. What a shock. What a shock.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was so yeah, I had to give that little bit of a backstory. But yeah, going to this candidate meeting, I wish there was a little bit more of a debate style, like where the opposing candidates would all stand up and they'd all agree on one person in the crowd to call on for a question, and see how that goes. They all give an answer to the same question. I think that would have been, pretty productive. But I think it was handled really well. I think the whole thing was handled really well.
That was, and you can give total credit to Chris Castleman. I think he did a good job running the meeting. We knew going in that it was going to be really tight, and he was going to have to really get a handle on the meeting and make sure people are following the time clock and all that good stuff. It was amazing. I just ordered talking about, we're going to be doing a governor's debate, and I've had to formulate rules and a schedule for the debate and all that fun stuff. Thank God for AI, Marty. Thank God for AI.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I mean?
I saw one of your posts where it had like 50 different questions, and I'm like, when does Rob get the time to do this? And then it was like, oh, and here's the AI input. So, and there we go.
What an age we live in. What an age we live in where we can, honestly, before I even came on here, I had a little conversation with Grok Voice, and I'm like, okay, give me a little like quote sentence, something I can say. And it's like, and Grok told me, say that these are our neighbors. I just used that line a little bit ago. I got that from AI. I'm not gonna lie.
That doesn't surprise me. That really doesn't.
I have a quick question for Rob. Hey, Rob, sure. I have a question for you. So we have the ability to show comments on the stage all the time, or click them on and click them off, or we seem to be doing both. Which one would you like to do?
Well, there are some comments that I think should be highlighted. Like Jeremy put this nice, thanks for filming it, TJ, and I wanted to highlight it. And then I'll take that off. And then I've got the live streaming comments right there that just go full time. So for people that, because people will be talking and I'll miss 10 comments. You know what I mean?
I mean, we've had a couple of shows where we get to the end of the show and we're like, oh man, we are like 30 comments behind.
30 comments behind.
I just wanted to make sure that I just wanted to kind of get clear the protocol of like, okay, let's leave the streaming stuff up, all the time. And then if we find a comment like, Samantha said, oh, Tom and Nancy made it all the way out to the Douglas County for my hearing.
Yep.
we can highlight stuff like that. So that's just what I was just trying to get clear. And as you can tell, everybody watching this podcast can tell that we do a lot of planning and prepping. So when we show up at 10 to 8 and go, okay, let's do a show.
Let's do a show. What the hell, man? Yeah.
Hey kids, let's do a show. Yeah.
But yeah, as far as that comment that said thanks for filming it, at this point I do feel that like Jeremy, I feel like it's almost like a public service to show transparency. I want to show up as many things as possible and just let everything being transparent. And what was that Steve Hamerson, right? That guy from Douglas County that was there?
Yeah.
Honestly, that dude was way bigger on in person than the pictures I've seen online. That guy was he's a giant. But anyway, that's besides the point. Anyway, I liked him. He was cool. Yeah. He was talking about like live streaming all of his stuff. Like everything he does with the commission or whatever. And I absolutely support that. It shows transparency. And that's, like I wanted my channel, it's called Stocks Family Farm. I wanted it to be about the Stocks family, like my family and my farm. And it just turned into something political. And I'm gonna start filming more videos of my pigs to kind of dilute it, but as far as it goes though, like I almost feel like what I'm doing now is almost a public service, like so that people in our community can see it. And I'm getting all this hate on Facebook. I don't even have Facebook to defend myself, but like people posting my little clips of mine and they'll cut it off right before the guy says, "Hey, thanks for being out here, shaking my hand." And I have a pretty good relationship with most of those people, but like that dude on Facebook, he wants to just post it like, "Oh, this guy is pushing back against TJ." Well, I was waiting to cross the street.
Well, it's selective editing, and that's how one of my biggest problems with mainstream media is selective editing, and they've been caught at it so many times now that people are kind of hip to the whole idea that if you see something and it's it's derogatory, it's negative, you can pretty much be guaranteed that it's fake, phony, and false. So the fact that our favorite. Yeah, the fact that our favorite idiot keeps posting crap like that, it's just like, by now, most people know. I mean, it's like, oh, I've got like 8,000 followers. I bet 7,800 of them are going, what an idiot.
Yeah, I post clips, but I always leave my live streams live. I always upload them in their entirety, so nobody can ever say I take them out of context when I make my clips.
So that's why I have always done live TV when I did public access. I refuse to do recordings ahead of time. I refuse to do recordings and do a canned radio show. And then when I did the podcast, that's what people were telling me, Rob, you got to record this. You got to get an editor. You got to make it smooth. And it's like, well, then how do people know that what I'm telling them is the truth if this isn't really live streaming and people can see what's happening in real time? Just the thought.
I mean, I'd prefer, when I did radio, I was always live. And I always felt weird about, I did a show for syndication essentially. And that's one of those things where you have to edit it for time and you have to make it fit certain times so that you can be on a network and so forth. And I always felt weird about editing a show and like saying, you've got 48 seconds to make a point here or do an intro or an outro, and I much rather that we did like this podcast live or my radio shows live, because most people know it's authentic, warts and all. If you screw up, you flub, you make a mistake, you correct yourself, people are going to go, oh, that's authentic. These guys aren't just doing a slick, and hey, we're going to be coming back after 30 seconds and make sure that you keep tuned to this.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. What happened? Where'd you guys go?
Well, I'm still here.
Still here? Okay.
And TJ, and I guess
My
TJ
screen went weird. It just all of a sudden flickered.
Oh no,
It was like you guys left.
Maybe we're being hacked. Oh my god.
Maybe we're being hacked.
Oh my gosh.
I'm trying to share another picture, and I can't seem to get it to share. I don't know why.
The Tim Brown one, the 28th of February. That's tomorrow.
Yeah, so that's tomorrow at 8 a.m.
Oh shit, that's early.
Yep. That is early. And that is at the
Ocean Boulevard?
Ocean Boulevard Memorial Cemetery. What doesn't it say on there?
I can't see it on my screen. It's way too small.
It's way too small.
American flag on the Ocean Boulevard.
Well, I mean, I only have one device. I'm not on a computer. I'm only on my phone.
And so just look for the flags. It's right next to Witt Industries. It's just right across. It's diagonal from the Jeep dealership. It's the cemetery.
Okay.
Well, if you drive on Ocean Boulevard and you see 20 people out there with American flags, then you guys know.
Yeah, I know I'm in the right place. Yeah, okay, I got you.
And if some other patriot is having a funeral, then we won't mind if you join in his funeral. It's okay. So
the more flag wavers, the merrier when it comes to
the merrier. Yeah, we're not picky. If you want to go out and do your flag waving, then we're all in.
All righty.
So I got some videos here, and I'm trying to share them, but I wanted to share the file that I have on. Why did it do this? I'm having a hard time getting it to share a file that I've been wanting to share here of the. Why won't it let that file come in?
What file are you trying to share? Do I have a copy of it?
Hey, thanks, Steve.
I don't think you have a copy of it. See if you can find a picture of the rally. I mean, not the rally, of the debate, of the governor's debate. I'm sorry, someone just sent me a message here that was pretty critical, and I can't tell you what it is. And it's like I'm trying to focus on two different things right now.
Two things at once.
Yeah, so let's go to a video then. Okay, I will look for a video. And just to show you, we are going to be having a governor's debate. Let's see. That didn't help. But here we go. Here, I can share this. Yeah. Nope. That's not going to let me do that either, huh? Wow, why is it not letting me do this stuff? Okay, so I hate when I have trouble and we're on live radio. I hate when that happens. I mean, on live TV.
And it's kind of weird in that I said it's better if we do things live and we see all the fumbles and the foibles and the screw ups, and then we go into like a 3-minute foibles, fumbles, and screw ups section. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Rob Taylor Report. Foibles, fumbles, and screw ups.
Marty's fault.
Yeah, we'll blame Marty.
I'm a jinx.
Marty's a jinx. Marty's a jinx. Okay, I think I got it here. Let me add this to the stage. Let me now go to the page. Let me click it. Let me make it big. Boom. There we go. Is that easier? Can you guys see that?
Yeah.
Yep. And so we asked 5 of the mage candidates to show up. We asked as well as Ed Deal, Daniel Bethel, and David Medina. We wanted, of course, Chris Dudley and Christine Drazen to show up, and they've said they have scheduling conflicts. The truth is that they're afraid to face these people. And it's sad because we are underperforming Republicans down here. And no, that's not a sexual diagnosis. That's actually what we do as voters. We underperform as Republicans, and they should be out here trying to energize the Republican base to get out the vote so that someone in the Republican Party, someone good, could actually win this race. And this is why this governor's debate is very, very important. Are you going to be back in time, Marty, to see this debate?
I'm kind of hoping I will be, because it's going to be Saturday, March 14th. It's 5 p.m. local candidate forum, and at 5 p.m. it's the local candidate forum, and 7 o'clock it's the gubernatorial debate, or the governor debate, and it's at the Marshfield High School Auditorium in Coos Bay, and it's moderated by Taryn Feist. Is that
Yep.
am I pronouncing that correctly?
Yep.
Okay, cool. And I don't know who Taryn Feist is, by the way.
If you all don't remember, her name was actually Taryn Dar, but she recently was married, and she's a traditional girl, and she took her husband's last name. Mm-hmm. But her name was Taryn Dar, and she covered the story about the Newport School District. That was where Dave Brown had gone. He was part of the school board up there. And she was the one who reported it, made that a huge story. She's covered stories with Angela Todd. She works with Turning Point and Turning Point groups, so she's a pretty well-rounded person, and we're lucky to have her coming down to do this event.
Okay. Well, I didn't know, and I always kind of ask these questions, even sometimes when I do know, because that way people who are listening to us are going, I wonder who that person is. And so if I ask the question, then everybody else can go, well, now I know. In this case, it was just because I didn't know.
So Rick Dancer wanted to attend, and he had told me back in January, maybe it was back in December. It was either late December, early January. He had told me that he couldn't do the Turning Point event. He couldn't be the moderator for that, but to keep him in the loop, because he'd like to come back, and he was supposed to be out here sometime in March. And so I had contacted him a week ago, and of course the dates don't line up. So he called back, or he texted me back, and he says, Rob, you're gonna have to find somebody else. I just don't think I'm gonna be able to make this happen. And I go, well, Rick, I got bad news for you. I got someone younger and prettier to cover the moderation.
I bet he took that well.
Yeah, he thought that was funny. So
yeah,
he enjoyed that little witticism there.
Yeah, so you've got 3 people lined up: Ed Deal, Danielle Bethel, and David Medina. And then I noticed that Samantha said there's another candidate from Douglas County who is Brad Peters. Does that name ring a bell?
Never heard of him.
Okay, well, now we know.
And right now, unless they're one of the top 5, that's what we agreed on. And so we did a poll, and looking at statewide polls, those 5 that I've just mentioned, which includes the 3 that are in the debate, are all on that list. And Jeremy says the top 3 are going to be here. And yes.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, I mean, if it's going to be narrowed down to 3, it's best it's the top 3 as opposed to, me.
Yeah,
like the 4,383,000th person you'd want to be governor of Oregon. Me.
All
right.
Okay. Now I'm trying to.
Are you trying to put up a video? Are we going?
Yeah, I was trying to put up a video, but now the video isn't working the way I want it to work. Okay, why aren't you working the way
you
I
need
want
more
it to
gummy
work?
soda, obviously.
Oh my God. Why isn't this working? Okay. There has to be a way here of making this work. Jeez Louise. So Marty, what have you been doing? How's the skiing in Utah? Oh, here we go. Here's the button I was looking for. I'm sorry.
There we go. So you had you're trying to do a share a screen and it wasn't picking the right screen, or
No, I'm trying to watch this video on YouTube, and now it's not even picking that up. I don't know what the hell's going on here. Once again, live podcasting, and that's just what you get.
Fancy. It's just transparency. That's all it is. It's transparency.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, some people would call it incompetence, but no, we choose to call it transparency.
Transparency. We will go to that. Okay, so let me see if I can get this to work again because it's not working right. There's the video. Can you guys see the video?
Okay. Do you want me to give you like a little context into each one when you play it? Yeah, we can see it.
Yeah,
sure. Tell us. This is the one I want you to talk about, and I have it at first for a reason, because from what I understand, you do this at every one of your times you go out to talk to these people, and I want you to explain this and how this fits into your style of interviewing.
Correct. So, as compared to like say Chris and the other people that were at that other protest, they go into more hostile situations and they just film. They don't really interact and have conversations. Me, myself, I'm not going into hostile situations like that. I mean, I may get 10% of the people at the boardwalk that are hostile towards me, but 90% of them are just out there, standing there, holding their sign. And every protest, I haven't filmed every single one, every single prayer that I do, but I pray before every single protest. And I ask God to shine over me, let me come in peace and kindness and love, and I want to not just hear what they're saying, I want to listen to what they're saying. I want to know what their grievances is, because no matter what, even if they're Democrats and on the other side, they're our neighbors. They're the people we walk around in Fred Meyer and Walmart and everything and Safeway with, and we don't give a shit what their political leanings are when we see them in public or in the store and randomly, because we only care when they're down at the boardwalk or in these community meetings or whatever. That's the only time we care about their politics. And so what I do, I pray for them to also have understanding and grace towards me, and which they don't always. And honestly, that's why I always drink a beer and smoke a bowl before I go down there too, because all of the prayer in the world, I still actually have to go interact with people, and I'm a man of the world, but I go down there and I pray for it. I pray for them every single time. And so, yeah, that's kind of the backstory on this video.
Well, I'm glad you're praying for them.
This is videos from around Christmas time, is this prayer specifically.
Okay, let me start this prayer.
Anyway, what I would like to do right now is I want to say a prayer for these people. And before I go down and talk to them also, we'll see where this goes. I better put my cigarette out. I don't feel right praying while I'm smoking. Okay. All right, dear God, thank you for this opportunity to continue dialogue with people that disagree with me and disagree with some of my beliefs. Help me reach an understanding with these people. Let me understand what's going on in their lives, and please touch their hearts and let them know that I do come in peace. I do come to speak honestly and speak truthfully and have dialogue with them so that our country doesn't get torn apart, God. And please just watch over me as I go there. Please let the people be calm. Don't let them assault me anymore. If it's necessary, it's necessary. You got the plan, God. But please just let them be open to hearing the things that I have to say, and let your message and your guidance and your heart shine through me onto them. Let them know that I come in peace. It is the Christmas season where we celebrate the birth of your Son, Jesus Christ, and just let let that peace resonate through this city and through these people and resonate through me. And let me be calm, cool, and collected, God. Praise in your name, in the power of the Holy Spirit, and in your Son, Jesus Christ. Amen. Okay.
All righty then.
And there we go. Amen.
And there you go.
Yeah.
Amen. Let me ask you something. You say you smoke, you drink, and then you pray. Do you think that's contradictory to be doing that kind of stuff?
A little bit of it, yeah. I mean, I hate to like minimize, like my sins or anything. But I was an intravenous meth addict for a decade.
I saw that
And,
video. I saw that video, and that was very impactful when you were talking about that. I'm sorry to interrupt you. Continue.
Yeah, but I started doing methamphetamines at 14 years old, and I quickly became addicted, and for 10 years I was smoking meth, snorting meth, shooting meth. I shouldn't say I was doing shooting meth for 10 years. I was only doing that for about the last year. But I thought that I just couldn't do it anymore. It was destroying my life. I had friends going to prison. I had friends dying. And I almost got caught by the cops. And I ran and I went back. I slept for a few days. I signed up for college 4 days later. And I ended up I have a bachelor's in commercial agriculture. I have a bachelor's in architectural engineering, an associate's in horticulture and botany, and an associate's in entrepreneurial business. I traded drugs for knowledge. And I just never did drugs again. And this August, I will have 20 years sober. And I mean, my life might not be much. I mean, but it's my life, and I'm happy for it. I got a beautiful family. I got a beautiful farm, and I couldn't be any happier. This is heaven to me. So.
Yeah, and I think that's I really respect the fact that at some point and I've had a lot of friends that died from overdoses, and I had a lot of friends that shook it and got better. And it's one of those things where it's just amazing that you can turn that around and go from, just total abject, denial of your own existence to turning around and then getting degrees, not a degree, but multiple degrees, and changing your addiction. So yeah, I mean, I've only got 3, so I feel like an idiot. So,
But I mean, to Rob's actual question was, do I feel contradictory in my regarding like me smoking a bowl and drinking a beer before I go over there? I'm like, and like I mentioned, I'm a man of this world. And this world is not run by God. This world is run by Satan, and it says that clearly in the Bible. I pray for my patients, and I do think a lot of my patients when I go down there is from God. But also I think the tall boy and the bull right before I go over there also helps. I mean, yeah, it's not the best thing to do, and I've even been called out by some of the protesters. Like this one big-eyed crazy chick that wears these big sunglasses, weirdo. Anyway, she fucking she's like, "Oh, you smell like alcohol," and it's like, bitch, I've only been here for 5 minutes. I just drank a beer fucking 10 minutes ago. Like, leave me alone. Like, and she just starts yelling at me and trying to make it look as if I am like a drunk that goes down there, but I'm not.
Right.
You know, it's just like one tall can and a bowl of weed. Like that's lunch. You know.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, TJ. Do you substitute the marijuana and the alcohol for the harder drugs? Is that part of the substitution? Because you said knowledge. And let me tell you, that is something that's the greatest defense against tyranny is knowledge. And when I talk about tyranny, I'm talking about tyranny of your own devices. You know what I mean? Tyranny of yourself. You can be more of a tyrannical person for the way you judge yourself, the way you allow your vices to take control of yourself. You can be the worst enemy you have. You know what I mean? I think that's true for everyone.
Yeah, I mean,
so tyranny is something that knowledge helps you defend off against the tyranny. And that's where I was going with this, is that the seeking of the knowledge, but also the imbibing of the alcohol and the weed may be part of that substitution. Would you agree or disagree?
Well, I would say I agree for most. However, like coffee, coffee is a big thing for me. I drink like 2-3 pots every morning. But I still use knowledge as my coping mechanism. When I feel too stimulated, I have a book right over here that I just read in the fall about the entire Bolshevik Revolution. And I have Glenn Beck's book. I have hundreds of books here at my house. Whenever I feel like overstimulated or kind of finicky, or how I would feel when I was craving meth, I still try and retain knowledge. I go on videos a lot. I even took some time to write my own book. I wrote a book about a diary style book, similar to the Anne Frank diary, called The Diary of Katya Petrova. I'm selling it on Amazon, and but it's about a young girl in 1919, Petrograd, Russia, during the Bolshevik Revolution. I still use knowledge and trying to educate myself about everything as my way to cope. And then I also like to do a lot of hard work on the farm. And those are the things that I do. You know, I mean, I'm constantly shoveling coops. I got 3 coops that, you know, geese and chickens and everything. Yeah. I'm constantly shoveling them, and, you know, I got the pig to take care of, and I'm always doing something. And that's kind of, and so when I am done doing the stuff for the day, like when I put the geese to bed, like that's literally because they don't go to bed until like way after dark because they're stupid. But when I put the geese to bed, that's when I'm like, okay, I can have a beer and smoke a bowl. So no, I think I use weed and alcohol more as just like, okay, it's the end of the night. I've done a lot of things today. I think I can do this, but I think my cravings go for hard work and knowledge. Yeah.
So I actually have a question for Rob, and it sounded like, you know, I can't imagine why having a beer and you know, a bong hit or a joint to, you know, would be, you know, some way of like ruining the message of what he's trying to do. I mean, he doesn't have to be, you know, completely pure to be able to get his message across. And I wasn't certain how you're asking the question, like, does it ruin it if you're actually having a joint and drinking a beer to do this? And I kind of look at it from the standpoint of that, if that's what gets him in the space where he can do this, and he can do the work of, you know, showing people compassion and showing people that there, you know, there can be, you can reach across the fence, you can, you know, shake hands to the other side. And it's like, if that's what it takes, I'm all for it. I mean, I remember a story from when I was a kid about there's a big flood on the Mississippi, and it started to encroach on this church. And a guy drove up in a pickup just before the road was washed out and said, "Come on, Pastor, jump in. Come on, let's get out of here." And he's going, "No, the Lord will save me. I have faith." And so the guy drove off in the truck, and a little while later, the floodwaters were up to, the windows of the church. And so he was inside, like on the second story. And a guy came by in a boat. He's like, "Come on, Reverend, let's get out of here. Let's get out of here." He's going, "No, the Lord will save me." And, so the guy took off in the boat. Finally, the floodwaters got to the very tip of the steeple. He's standing on the top of the steeple. A helicopter comes by and it says, "Hey, Rev, hop on, let's get out of here." And he's like, "No, the Lord will save me." Well, he drowned. And he gets to the pearly gates and he goes, "Hey, why did you let me, why did you let me pass away?" And he's going, "I sent you a truck, I sent you a boat, I sent you a helicopter. What more do you want?" So maybe the joint and the beer are the boat and the helicopter to allow him to make the connection. So
right, and it's not like I'm getting all fucked up. Yeah, I'm not getting fucked up before I go down there. I'm just let
me do.
I'm nervous.
Tequila and get in a fist fight. Yeah, that'll show him.
Right, I'm nervous because I've been assaulted so many times, and these people are so rude to me. Then I mean, not okay. I shouldn't say that because not all of them. Some of them are nice, but for the most part, I am walking into a den of lions with the attitude of a peaceful rabbit trying to make friends. And I mean, maybe I don't know if that's a good analogy, but I mean, it kind of is. And I'm there not to be an instigator, not to be a problem, but I literally want our community to come together. We're in this. I mean, this is a small town. We all live here together. We got to figure out how to do this. And I don't go down there to be a pain in anybody's ass. And I understand why some people think I am a pain in the ass because he's on the other side. He's the enemy, and fuck him. That's kind of like how they feel. And I'm trying to just me being down there and me being kind allows them to just take a step back and say, okay, they said all Trump supporters are racist, bigot, Nazi, whatever. But this guy was nice. He just wanted to talk to me and find out what I was thinking. And that's what I do. I understand not all the live streamers and stuff. That's their goal or mission. And I'm not there to change anybody's mind. I'm just and there's stories that they tell me about that they hear on their media that I had never heard, and so whenever I get back home, I always rewatch my live streams, find about stuff. And usually there's a lot of context missing in what they told me, and it ends up being just kind of bullshit. But I still look up everything they tell me that I don't know, and I let them know that, and that I'll look up something that I don't know. If I don't know it, I don't know it, and I won't comment on it, and I'll,
Yeah.
So this is the reason, Marty, I want to answer your question. This is the reason why I asked this, not because I'm judging what Stocks is doing, is because I just had that assumption, and that assumption was proved right, that there are probably people there who are going to use his vices against him and his Christianity. 1, 2, he's also going to be judged harshly by certain Christians on the right side, and you know who that might be.
Well, isn't that special?
So we got to realize that we are dealing with a certain aspect of evangelical Christians who may not accept vice. I mean, it was like when being Irish and marrying out through the family, you know what I mean? We always had a saying at the weddings, the Baptists on the left because the Catholic need to go on the right where the bar is, because the left is abstaining, so it's a little of this. They need a little abstinence. And that's all I was saying, is that maybe there are people out there who are going to use this against him, even though I think it's always good to mention that we all have bad habits and sometimes we may want to curtail them. And you and Marty, you and I know both, we all have bad habits, you know.
Oh my goodness, yes. No, and I didn't, and that was why I was kind of curious about the question you asked, because you know, and now that you framed it that way, I understand it, because he's going to be attacked from both sides. He's going to be attacked by the leftists just because there are a lot of people that do not want to have a dialogue. Their whole existence is they live in their own little bubble that does not make any sense. And the only way that they can live their lives is they live in this little bubble that nobody else could make any sense out of. And they've been, besieged, bombarded, essentially A-bombed by the media for the last 10 years. Orange man bad. Everything he does is bad. Anybody that aligns with this guy is bad. If you're white, you're bad. If you're Christian, you're bad. If you're heterosexual, you're bad. Bad. And at some point, they have no touch point. They have no connection to reality. There is no tribe they belong to anymore because we're all bad. So now they start hooking up with people that are doing no king's protests. Do they really think we have a king? If we had a king, would we allow would the king allow protests? No, but they don't get the logic of that, because logic is not where they live anymore. They live in a very closed environment where anything outside of that environment is a threat, is a danger, because their logic has been destroyed completely.
We're going to show that too in these videos that are coming up. But Gary Lee Hutchins, Marty, I think you were on when Gary was on. He's the guy who makes the adult videos on, I forget which.
Oh, yeah.
Him and his wife, they're married. And so this was interesting comment coming from a guy here who also catches flack for what his profession is. But he's someone who's kind of taking this from a different aspect. He says, our mood is connected to our gut. One drink can take a month to come back from. Nothing but depression can be expected from drinking alcohol. Not trying to preach, just saying, can face life much better with a gut that allows for a good mood, meaning it's tied to health, which I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll agree with Gary. And you know what? And I'm going to agree with you guys. Me drinking a beer and smoking a bowl before I go talk to these people, that's going to work against me from both the right and the left. Some people on the right are going to say, I don't want a guy that's drinking a beer and smoking a bowl to represent what the right is in this county, or like, I don't want him as a personality because of that or whatever, which is not what I ever wanted to be anyway. But and then the left is going to say, oh, he's an alcoholic stoner, which, I mean,
you make that sound like it's a bad thing.
Right. Well, I got my moments, but when I go down there, because I'm down there at noon, I'm down there at noon. I eat a big full breakfast. I stop into Coney Station for a beer, and that's it. Just one beer. I'm not getting plastered and going down there, and it's just more of just okay, maybe I can, I'll joke around, I'll talk a little bit of shit, but I'm not rude, right. I'm really kind to these people and they still freak out on me. And
people are going to judge you no matter. By the way, if nobody's noticed in life, people are going to judge you no matter what you do. You could be standing on a street corner, handing out gold bars wrapped in $100 bills to everybody that came by, and somebody would come by and say you're doing it wrong, or you shouldn't be doing that, or you're ruining the economy, or you're enabling blah blah blah. And so what? You know what? I basically try to do things that I feel are right, that I want to get done, that are progressing the world I want to live in. Yeah. Do you think I enjoy doing all the election integrity work I'm doing? I wanted to retire. I wanted to go fishing. I wanted to go crabbing. I wanted to go fly my plane and play around a golf or something. And none of that's happened, and it's because I'm doing things that I think are right. I'm doing things, and I don't care if somebody's like, "Oh, well, you're doing it wrong, or you shouldn't be doing that," or how dare you question our election system? Oh, you're a misinformation, malinformation, disinformation, blah 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 person. And I'm like, yeah, you know what? If I cared about your opinion, I might be worried about that, but I don't care. I'm doing what I want to do. So there.
That's why I tell people all the time, if you don't like the way I'm doing it, then you do it. But Gary Lee, he comments back again. He says, I've been smoking cannabis since age 11. It's medicine. And
100%.
I will agree that there is some medicinal purposes to marijuana, but I've been smoking it since I was 11 as well. I'm Gary's age, and I can tell you, most of those times were for recreational purposes alone. So I'll defend, the fact that, and you're talking to a guy who smoked pot in both the New Mexico Capitol building and the Oregon Capitol building. You know what I mean? So it's not like I'm the most upstanding person that you should be putting on a poster for Boy Scout.
Only 48 states to go.
Another 48 states. But here's the thing, Carl Sagan.
Smoking pot in every capital. Yeah. That's my goal.
Maybe I'm going to go on tour. This is going to be my thing from here on out. Carl Sagan smoked cannabis. The idea it makes you ignorant is a myth. Top enterprise IT, total stoners, LOL. Marty, you can vouch that IT.
Oh yeah,
big stoners.
Yeah, I remember at one company. Oh, as a matter of fact, when I was doing radio or when I was doing computer work, because there's a lot of creativity in both. And sometimes, getting a little high is like, okay, now I can put these things together. Yep. And ideas that for some reason would not connect when I was straight, and I can get a little high, and I'm like, oh, now I get how this works. And the boss from one of my first jobs where we were doing some internal stuff for high-end computers, he was like going, yeah, it was like the most disappointing time in my life. I'd written a compiler, and I'd gotten it almost ready to go. And I decided, okay, if I'm going to get into a big debugging session, I'm going to do a couple of really good bowls. And he's like, and he goes, and so I fired it up and I ran it and it worked perfectly. And he's going, total waste of a buzz. Yeah. I was looking forward to debugging that code while high, because sometimes the bugs that you don't see when you're straight, you can see them when you're high.
You can see
same thing with doing radio shows. All of a sudden it's like, ooh, I can connect this song to that song, or I can make this comment. And there's a certain amount of clarity, but and then at some point you just turn into a mess, and you got to figure out where the line is.
Yeah, that's it. And that's all I was saying is we got to be careful. Like Clint Eastwood said in that movie, every man has to know his limitations. You know what I mean? It's like we have to understand that we'll all succumb to our human foibles. It's just going to happen, but we got to try to limit it as much as possible. But I got to share this screen. This is another one of TJ's videos. And TJ, you want to give an intro to that before I play it?
Which one is this? Does it?
It says Crazy Lib Attacks MAGA.
Oh, okay. So you're gonna want to fast forward it a little bit, because this is like a 9-minute video. You're gonna want to fast forward it to about the 8-minute mark. I talked to the woman for a long time, but like right at the end, she kind of freaks out, grabs my microphone and stuff like that. But she's the big-eyed crazy lady. It's a really good conversation, but it's a really long one. But yeah, at the end is kind of where she attacks me, and I just I'm like, you can't do that. You can't do that. Give me my stuff. And but yeah, that's how this one is.
Cool. Let me play this then.
Just completely obey the authority, even if they're telling you to do horrible, inhumane things. Follow it, right? Continue to electrocute that person, even until just because you're following authority, huh?
Who's getting electrocuted?
There's a scientific experiment that people look through the key will just go ahead and full on electrocute somebody because they're following authority.
Do you know the name of that experiment? I can tell you what it is. Do you even know the name of it? What? What is it? What is it?
What is it? What is it?
No, you don't. No, it's the Milgram experiment.
Yeah. Okay, so how many?
I don't think you actually knew that. You're right.
Okay. Little scraggly. You should turn the camera around so you can see how gorgeous you are. Show everyone.
Yeah, no, I'm beautiful, yeah. I got a beautiful family. I'm well educated.
Well educated. How much school did you do?
12 years.
12 years old.
I have
You
4
finished
degrees.
high school.
I have 4 years. I have 4 degrees. I have 4
In
college
what? What are your
degrees.
degrees in?
I'm an engineer,
Engineer in
Yeah.
what?
Architectural engineering, and I have a degree in commercial agriculture. I have a degree in entrepreneurial
Why
business,
the fuck
and
are you supporting Trump? Any of this shit, you're an idiot. You're an idiot.
They're funny.
You know what? I'm not.
Hey, no! Stop! You have no right to touch my stuff.
You don't have a right to put it in my face. You put it right in my face.
No, I'm leaving this area. That is assault. You know that is assault, right? You could be arrested right now for that. Do you realize that? I'm not going to do that because I come down here and have very respectful conversations with people. I've had a lot of nice conversations with these people, and you are unhinged. You are a fucking clown. You are insane. You are insane, ma'am. Have a great day.
Wow. Wow. She's got attitude.
Well, that's what happens when you corner somebody and they're like, well, what makes you so smart? And it's like, well, I've got 12 years of school. Oh, you barely made it out of high school. No. 12 years
Yeah,
as
12
in
years.
4 degrees.
Yeah.
Yeah. And your education is what? You spelled your sign right. Congratulations. You made it past the 3rd grade.
Yep.
But here's the thing. She didn't even make that sign herself. They bring out. Okay, there is one SUV, this black Toyota, and it brings a box of signs to every protest. And they just pick out their signs out of it. And I've gone around and I'm like, you want to tell me about your sign? And there are people that are like, oh, I don't even know what this one says. I just grabbed it out of the back of that SUV.
Yeah.
That happens at every single protest. I've got tons of videos of that box of signs that they bring.
Let me explain to you how it used to work back in the day in the early 90s when we were protesting to stop the war on drugs, mainly the war on cannabis. We wanted to smoke our pot and not go to jail for 10 years. This was in the Southwest. And so we did our signs, and what we would do is we would have a sign painting party where we would give out free weed. And all the college kids and all the stoners would come over, and we'd make dozens and dozens of freaking signs all high as hell. And boy, the spelling, the wording was just really shitty. I mean, on top of it, we're already idiots and we're getting high and we're writing this stuff out. And it's like, this is crazy stuff. And so we would go and do that. So this was already the type of things that were going on back then. So I can only imagine that they're much more organized now to even have more well-constructed sign organization.
Yeah.
No, that's fair.
It is well documented, though, that a lot of these, especially, Richard Stallman, who's a, internationally renowned computer expert, actually has a webpage that shows you who is organizing these quote unquote grassroots efforts. And, and they have a couple of different ones in Oregon and one in Coos Bay. And they are actually paid large amounts of money to create these situations and create the whole idea is that the mainstream media is trying to convince you that, less than 10% of the population is actually 90% of the population. They want you to believe that ICE is bad and Trump is a king and he's a dictator and he's going to start a war and he's going to do this and he's going to do that. And the mainstream media will back that up. But they also want all these people on the ground that are paid protesters getting between 15 and 20 bucks an hour to want, and they show up at 8 or whatever time and they leave at exactly noon or 1 and they're on the clock, and they're basically, they're there protesting as a job. And in some cases, there's groups of them that are that are sent around by buses. They have all their signs professionally done, and they get put up somewhere. They get all their food. They get a per diem. They get paid, and it is a job. And the whole idea is to convince you that the world is horrible because of the current administration. And it's like, no, it's not. So you got 10, maybe 20, maybe 100 people that are trying to convince you that the other 75,000 people of Coos County are the same way. And most of them are like, I don't even have time to consider these clowns, much less say anything about them. Most people don't even care that these people are protesting. It's like, they could be out there, complaining that the Red Sox have never come to play in Coos Bay, and most people would have the same effect on most people. Go ahead.
Can
Keith.
you answer this question?
Oh, what?
Yes, I would like to answer it. It's Indivisible Oregon, which is funded by Indivisible USA, which is funded by 30% by George Soros and the Open Society Foundation and other NGOs. That is who funds. That's who pays for the rent on their building. That's who pays for their electric bill. That's who pays for all their website. That they don't have individual people paying for these things out of their group like we do.
Yeah,
they're well organized and well funded through national organizations.
Yeah,
so Samantha has an interesting concept here. She says they have them on both sides that are paid by the same agencies. They want a civil war. Ooh, there's a cool conspiracy theory, Marty.
Well, that's kind of the whole idea with some of this Marxism stuff is that, you have to turn white against black. You have to turn poor against rich. You have to turn Republicans against liberals. You have to, sow division such that,
Right.
And they're going to have false flag operations. The more these people are getting cornered, the more these people are getting defunded, the more false flag operations they're going to have. They cheer when somebody like in the Minnesota ICE protest got killed because they're hoping for another, they're hoping for another.
We got fake alien invasions coming next week. You don't even know.
Yes.
But,
Coming next week. Alien invasions coming next week to a cinema near you. But they want another George Floyd incident. They want, BLM was a big paid organization. People are getting paid millions to, organize all these protests. And the same thing with, Black Lives Matter and Antifa and so forth and so on. And, you can look through all the NGOs that are hooked up to these things. And it's not just one person. It's not like Fred McMurray in, 102 12th Street in Coos Bay is paying for all this stuff. It's not somebody locally. It's somebody locally maybe organizing it, but, they're a part of a national and international organization that's funneling billions of dollars into the destruction of the Republic of the United States. And there's my tinfoil hat moment for the day. Thank you very much for playing along.
Oh, well, it gets better. James asked, he says, is there a reason why they only protest in Bandon and Coos Bay every time they have a protest? Do you think there's a reason for that?
Because they want to make it look like they are the majority in the county, and that's something I have continuously criticized the Republicans for. Is we don't get out there and have flag wavings like we because they're protesting against something, so there's a difference, we're in support where they're against something. So when you're against something, you want to come out even more. And so, and I feel like our local community, plus like most of the Republicans in our county, they're not like elderly, like all the people that I go and talk to, like the 70-year-olds, because that's the only people on the boardwalk. I mean, I don't know how old you guys are. No offense to you guys. I mean, I'm only 40, but most of the Republicans in our county are going to be between 35 and 45.
Yeah, me and Marty are 45, 46.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought you guys were. Yeah, perfect.
Well, I'm actually this year I turned 40 this year.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect.
But the thing is I'm not.
You're a young man.
10. No, I'm not using base 10. I'm in a hexadecimal, so I'm 40 in hexadecimal.
Yeah, but I mean, what I'm getting at is the people that are my age, for example, we're all working every day. We got families every day. It's hard to be able to schedule in a little something extra, even if it's for an hour or two. You know, especially during the middle of the day on a Saturday when you want to be home with your family. You know,
Well,
so
and you're right about the motivation. The what is it called? It's behind them. The
Puppet Masters.
The Puppet Masters. No, the right now they're the popular. They're protesting something. The momentum is behind them. And so they're the ones who now are wanting to take the boardwalk when we've already won the election. And someone even said this to me when someone had me help them do a Trump protest after he was elected. She goes, "Why would we want to go out and look like a bunch of idiots holding flags when we already won the election?" And I thought, yeah, I get it. I know. I'm kind of with you there. I'm tired of holding. And that's why I'm glad we created this pack where we're now doing all these different events and we don't look like idiots out there with the flags, but at least we look like we're organized enough to get 700 people to show up at the Egyptian. We're organized enough to have a governor's debate. It's something that they see, and it's
I mean, when we were talking with Brandy a couple of shows ago, and she was talking about the impotence, I like the way she pronounced it, the impotence of doing protests. And I kind of look at that fact that they are basically flailing. I mean, we will occasionally go out and do like patriotic things, wave flags, say, hey, happy 4th of July and stuff like that, you know, and be proud of America and, you know, and that kind of thing. But when they're doing these organized protests, and it's in Band and it's in Coos Bay, because that's where the 42S and the 101 come together. So that's the one place where it's going to be seen by the most people. Same thing with the boardwalk. The boardwalk, pretty much.
And not only that, Bandit and Coos Bay are the liberal havens of the county.
That too, yeah. So you're going to get a lot of people. I mean, take that protest out to Powers and see how well it goes. So
I've literally heard people, like, while I was debating somebody, or I don't even want to call it debating, interviewing or having a discussion with somebody. This guy comes up and says, "Listen, you shouldn't even talk to this guy because 97% of the people agree with us." But you know what? That's not the voting demographic in Coos Bay or in Coos County at all, by any means. And so by them getting out there, they believe, hey, look how many of us there are. And people are honking as they're going by, and so here's one thing. If you're a conservative, stop honking when you go past them, because they think every honk is an agreement. And that's what they think. So if you're a conservative and you're watching this, stop honking at the protesters because they think you agree with them. And but they they think that because they are the ones that are showing up, they are the majority and they're the loudest. You know, they're the loudest voices in our county. The Republicans aren't, because we don't want to be causing a disturbance. And I don't want to say we're kind of being pussies about it, but like we need to be able to push back. We need to, honestly, we need to start having our own get-togethers and start one half an hour or an hour before they show up at the boardwalk. If there's more of us at the boardwalk and they feel uncomfortable to go over there, like just same way we made them uncomfortable with that drag show, that the only reason they weren't complete perverts at that thing is because there were so many eyes on it. There was so much exposure on it. It got views from Alex Rosen from Predator Poachers, a national group that hunts child predators online. They got national attention, and the only reason they weren't worse than they were is because they knew that they were exposed. That's why they blocked out the windows. They had eyes on them, and that's it. Transparency. You can't you can't hide your secrets in the light. You know?
So, two things that I want to make a point to what you said. John Sweet, who's the one who allowed the name of the taxpayers to be on that flyer for the drag show. The reason he went with the vote that he did and opposed the pulling the name off is because he sees this and he sees the kids out there, the young people. I shouldn't call them kids. They were young people who showed up to that meeting, and he knows that Drew Farmer just won. He knows the momentum is behind Drew Farmer. He knows the momentum is behind these kids, and that's why he voted for this nonsense, because he's up for re-election and he needs just as many Democrats, if not more. Yeah. And so that's why he did this. And the thing is that, he went to this meeting that we had just a couple of nights ago, and he looked really bad when he was up speaking. In fact, you filmed it. I hope people go look at it at Family Stocks Farms on Twitter. That video is still up, isn't it?
Yeah. That one is. So the last protest that I went to on Saturday, on my end in YouTube Studio and on YouTube, it shows processing, and but that Facebook page shared clips of it, and Michael Garza did a reaction to my conversation with Greg, and so it was live for a while. So I think they mass reported it, which has been they've mass reported videos of my chickens. So I think they're like targeting my YouTube. So I think that's why it's not available. But the one, the candidate meeting is live.
And so is that on the Stocks Family Farm X page?
On YouTube, on my YouTube. YouTube. I only have YouTube and X. I don't have Facebook or anything else, or Blue Sky or.
But I was.
So this is the comment that I wanted to go back to. This is Steve Nye says, that's no excuse. Where are the young conservatives that can actually have a voice? And this goes back a few minutes. And that's another thing with John Sweet. He thinks that the young gay people, the trans people, the drag people are the people who are being bullied in school, who are being bullied in society, when the fact is it's the opposite. It's the Christian kids and the conservative kids and the 100%. Kids like Charlie Kirk who are getting bullied and silenced and canceled. And John Sweet is still in an age where he doesn't understand this, because he thinks gay people are still considered to be bad. That's how far out of time he is. He's about 100 years out of sync. So this is why he doesn't care if he votes for it, because he thinks that he can excuse it in his own mind and rational it because it's something that's horrible happening to people. So I don't know. It's just, I don't know what we're going to do with the whole situation. I hope he loses. I really hope he loses.
Yeah, I'm hoping that this is his last term and he will not be reelected. And and if we were doing clean elections, if it was 1 day in-person ID mandatory, hand count, or just get rid of mail-in ballots, we might have a chance of actually getting representation that we want, as opposed to the representation that is imposed upon us. But I mean, the whole problem we have with trying to pander, because it's like, oh my goodness, it's like we've got to do something about this predator or pedo prom. Because all these gay people are getting beat up, and I'm like, I don't remember Charlie Kirk being gay, but somebody assassinated him and killed him for the audacity of saying, we can discuss this, we can have a conversation about this, we can find a middle ground. I mean, how many death threats were thrown at the Egyptian theater gal? I mean, how much protesting was going on because we wanted to have a meeting to get young conservatives and young Christians involved in the community, to feel like they're a part of a community that they can be proud of. And and where was his condemnation of that? He should have been condemning that.
Right.
And Farmer should have been condemning that. The Farmer was basically catcalling it.
Yeah.
He was like saying, "Oh, I don't know what TPUSA does, but," and I'm like, "Oh, well, maybe you should learn about
Maybe
what
you
you're
should find
talking
out.
about."
Yeah.
And
A
instead of
thousand. What was
casting,
it, Marty? That he promised us that he was going to. There's a potential of 1,000 NAACP members
yeah,
diverging on Coos Bay,
convert,
Coos County, and
converging
going.
on, they're being bussed in from Portland.
Yep.
Portland, 1,000 NAACP members are being bussed in from Portland. So I've alerted the sheriff's department. I've talked to the Coos Bay police. I've talked to the North Bend police. I might get the state police involved. And I'm like going, yeah, way to sow fear on a situation that doesn't actually need to have anything but you to step up and say, we should all have the common decency to allow somebody else to have an opinion that we don't agree with and let them have their event without being, I mean, it's like if we were, doing death threats to all the people that did the pedo prom, how much blowback do you think we'd get on that?
Yep.
So
you would see that. See, that's the thing. I didn't hear one single complaint that they were being threatened or bullied anywhere that I had social media. I didn't see that happening. I didn't see any complaints of that. The only thing I saw was, they were just upset when people like Stock's Family Farm showed up with his camera. You need a taller thing for your phone to look up over the sheets that are the papers they were putting up.
I showed up hours before the event and walked in there and started filming and film the stage and film them setting up the tables. And this lady, she comes up out of nowhere and starts filming me. So I'm like, okay, cool. And I turned off my phone and I'm walking and she goes on the other side of the things. Like, how Pony Village Mall is like kind of split into two. There's like little sections in the middle. She's on the other side and she's walking as fast as she can to get in front of me. And she goes a little further, gets distracted by some kids. So I cut through Ross and I cut out through Ross and head to the street. And she like comes back and follows me out. A little while later, I go back into Ross and I buy a pair of camouflage socks. And I'm just filming the little trash or whatever they have. And then this security guard comes up to me out of nowhere and says, "Yeah, you can't be here. We've been given alert to you filming." And I was like, I was only filming the trash, your art projects. And they're like, "Yeah, you can't be here. I was given your description." So, and you know what sucks is that guy was a ginger. He looked just like me with a shorter beard. I hate that.
Well, and what's his rationale for not saying, you can't be here? Like based on what code?
Well, I asked him. Yeah, I said, what? I can't film in the mall. And they said, and he said, well, not while we're having this event tonight. And we were already alerted about you. Like alerted about me? Like what is that supposed to mean?
Right.
Yeah. So I'm not allowed to have my First Amendment rights because you're having an event in a public mall. Let me see if you actually understand how the rule of law works here. But
that's only if you're Don Lemon. Only Don Lemon can get away with
that. What's this video titled?
This is called Democrat Almost FAFO.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this is a good one. This is there's this guy that's always down there. He's a little bit bigger than me, which is he actually I've shook in his hand a few times, but this guy, he's pretty big, and I don't carry my gun or anything down there because I don't want to be intimidating or like threatful or whatever. But this guy, he's like, "You're a pest." He starts singing this like weird song right in my face, and he steps on my feet. But I've had a few interactions with this guy. But yeah, this is like one of my first interactions with this guy. And he's very aggressive. but like in a passive aggressive kind of way. So yeah, that's what this guy. But he's always down there. He's a regular.
Okay. Well, let me play this.
Resist. Let's see. Big bullshit bill, big profit, we pay. All right. You don't want to talk about your signs? There's an opportunity. Pardon? Okay. I love voting by mail. Oh, that's too bad. There are no invasions, no emergencies, only Trump lies. Well, there's no invasions anymore. Release the Epstein files. Believe the women. Oh, so do you believe all women? Always? Do you believe all women?
Anita Hill.
Do you believe Ashley Biden's diary? Do you guys believe Ashley Biden's diary? You say believe the women. Ashley Biden is a woman. What have you read Ashley Biden's diary? About how she said that her dad, she had to change the time that she took showers because you guys don't want to. Ashley Biden, Joe Biden would take showers with his 12-year-old daughter. Okay. I believe, didn't they just say that, Trump just say that he actually hates, or Epstein said he hates Donald Trump? Isn't that what the new emails have said?
He said he was fucking little girls.
I have not seen that email, and I don't think that's true.
Well, it may not be true to you, but if you believe that, I've got a bridge to sell you.
Yeah. Hi.
Come on,
how are you?
move along. Go.
You guys are very friendly. You're disturbed by me? Why?
It's because you're a baiter. You come out here to bait people. You have no legitimate.
He asked you nicely, and you're a pest.
You're a pest.
Shit for brains. You're a pest.
That's right.
Run along. I would support your right to be a shit for brains, but that doesn't mean you should be shit for brains around here.
I can go anywhere I want, right? So if I wanted to stand right here,
At what point do your rights trump the rights of another man that asked you to leave him alone?
I'm not bothering nobody.
That's your opinion.
You're getting awfully close to me, sir.
I'm just standing, I'm just standing here. But I'm just standing here.
You're getting right in my face, sir.
Oh, is that what you think?
Yes, sir.
Oh, come on.
You need to step back or you're going to get maced.
Oh, am I going to get maced?
Yeah, you're going to get maced if you don't step the fuck back.
Ah, isn't that funny? No, I know. Oh, I know. He just said, it's just so interesting.
No, you're stepping on my feet.
I didn't touch your feet.
Yes, you did.
Shit my brains.
Anytime if you ask him to walk away, he's always walk away.
Well, that's what I was just asking him to do. Leave this other gentleman alone.
Well, he was engaging with conversation, so I continued to engage.
You were engaging. Oh, I was.
He was. He was talking to me, was he? Wasn't he? Yeah.
So there you go. Another wonderful video, and you proved your point very well. You have great ability not to just tell these guys to go F themselves. I know Marty would have been up there with the F yourselves.
Oh, as soon as that guy stepped on my toes, he would have been gargling his testicles because I would have kneed him right through the sternum. So
that was one of the mild interactions that I've had. That one wasn't even that bad compared to some of the other ones.
Yeah, but I love the fact that he was like saying, well, I've asked you to stop bothering me and blah blah blah, and I'm like going, and you know what, TJ said the exact same thing, and you didn't pay any attention to his request. Why should I pay attention to your request? And it's like they're using, it's the hypocrite, it's the hypocrisy of these situations that they don't even understand. They're not smart enough to understand that they're being hypocritical. And it's like they think they're having these witty bon mots and these witty retorts. And I'm like going, wow. I mean, I didn't, it's one, who wrote that sign for you? Because you obviously don't have the IQ to do it yourself. And two, who writes your material? I mean, I haven't heard cutting remarks like that since, I don't know, third or fourth grade. I mean, did somebody steal your juice box? Why are you so upset? And it's just
sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Marty. I love this video that Rob just pulled up. This one right here, it's right after Zoran Mamdani got elected. And I want to say this. Here's the best thing about the Democrats downtown. They have their protest every 2 weeks. That is about the exact length their memory is on political issues. Mm-hmm. So before I go to any protest, I sit down and I watch. Oh, dude, I want to blow my brains out watching CNN, MSNBC, not just clips, actually watching it and hearing the dribble coming out of their mouths. And I'll sit there. I never show up at a protest with, look, I got notes right here from the last protest. 10 pages of notes that I take to every protest because I want to get quotes right. And I want to bring factual information so I'm not just making stuff up on the fly or not knowing my facts. But this protest right here is right after Zoran Mamdani got elected, and this is their what they have to say about it.
Very good. Let's
play that video.
Oh, I gotta find the channel. There we are. Okay.
I'm all in for Project 26. Well, what if Project 26 ends up being Republican ideas?
It won't be, I promise.
Do you think with the recent election in New York City, that signals a shift in what's coming for our country?
Yep.
You do? And you think, okay, so he's, a lot of Republicans will say that Zoran Mamdani is a communist, but he self-identifies as a democratic socialist. Do you believe that we should have the Democratic Socialist Party as like a national party?
I don't care as long as the
So you would be okay with a National Socialist Party if
third party is an interesting thesis.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. You'd be okay with a National Socialist Party?
Absolutely, and I might join it.
You would join the National Socialist Party?
Okay.
All right, that's awesome. I'm gonna land for Project 26. Well, what if Project 26 ends up being Republican ideas?
All right, you're playing it. Yeah, you're on a second time there.
Do you think with the recent election in New York City?
Darn it, stop. How do you get it to stop? There it goes. Okay. Okay.
So, okay, enlighten me here because I have no idea what Project 26 is.
Yeah, me either.
They are just like they're making a mockery of like the Project 2024, whatever that was by the Heritage Foundation, and they're saying Project 2026 is when the Democrat takeover is going to happen. And so I was just like, so what if it's all Republicans? What if that's Project 2020? And she's like, it's not going to happen, and blah, blah, blah. But then I got them to say, the best part of that video is where they said that they would join the National Socialist Party. And I'm like, all right, awesome.
Yeah.
And that was the end of the video, you know?
And not realizing that the National Socialist Party is what they called the Nazi Party. And
exactly. No, that's funny. That's funny.
Yeah.
That's why I posted that video. I think that's fucking
and you
hilarious.
can tell none of them caught on to that whole thing. They're going, well, of course
No.
I would join it. You know, anything except Orange Man, bad. And I'm like, okay, so you do realize that the National Socialist Party is the Nazi Party. So you're going to join the Nazi Party and gas a bunch of Jews just because you don't like Trump. Because why? Exactly. What is it you don't like about Trump? And
I actually have a video online. I didn't send it to Rob, but I have a video of a Jewish man from New York that claims to know every famous person. But I got him to say the N-word like 5 times. And yeah.
Yeah. No, but I mean, I just threw this up because I just thought it was, all these people protesting. You said they protest every 2 weeks, and it seems like it's at this point it's like a 2-week cycle. So it was like no kings, and then 2 weeks later it was F ICE, and then 2 weeks later it's something else, and and they'll just keep doing it. So I'm like, that's why I wanted to put up this graphic where it's like, tonight I'll go to the Nobody's Above the Law protest. Tomorrow is the Protect the People That Broke the Law to Get Here protest. Friday is the ICE Needs to Show Their Identity protest. And then, of course, after that, I'm going to the Voters Don't Need to Show ID protest, which is Saturday.
Right. Yep, exactly. Dude, so. I cannot tell you. I will watch while what I do is I actually listen to it. I'll put a headphone in while I'm outside working, and I'll listen to CNN, and it drives me insane, and I just get mad and I work harder. But that's what I do. But
you got your aggressions on the lawn.
Yeah, but I want to know what they're thinking before I get there. And honestly, I wish there was any single one of them that was smart enough. All they have to do is be mildly intelligent, and because they're going to know that I'm going to come down there and talk about what has happened over the last 2 weeks, right? Because that's all that most of them are focused on, and all they have to do is okay, what are all the Republican talking points on each of these issues, and they'll be able to at least debate me or defeat me. I don't want to say defeat because I'm not there as a challenge.
Yeah. This is
I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to misconstrue why I go down there. I literally one thing that I really want everybody down there to know is I don't come down there out of malice. I don't come down there out of hate. Rob's met me. I don't think I've met you yet, Marty, in person, but I am legitimately just a kind guy. I have a troubled past, but I come at everything through peace and through patience, and I'm a nice guy. That doesn't mean I don't have that dog in me, but I come as not as an adversary, But this video that you got pulled up, Rob, there's this guy. I call him Bike Guy. And I've had several conversations with him. He freaks out. He freaks out every single time he sees me. Yep. And this time, in this video, there's all of the what do they call them? De-escalators or whatever. They all come over and surround him, and they surround me. And yeah, so that's what this video is.
Wonderful.
Hey, Bike Guy. Hey, how you doing?
Hey, Nazi.
Nazi, come on, man.
I told you to get away from me several times. I feel threatened by your presence. You get by me again.
My mere presence isn't.
Get the fuck away from me.
What does that mean? You're going to have to take action.
I feel threatened.
Right, by my mere presence.
I've read your death threats to people.
I haven't wrote any death threats to anybody.
Get the fuck away.
The sidewalk's only 3 feet, and I'm not doing. My mere presence is not a threat.
But you stop walking and camera in people's faces, TJ.
My camera is as close to my body as it can be.
Please keep
Okay. Got me? All right. I have not. No, I have not. That's a lie. That's a lie. Hey, bike guy. How you doing?
Hey, Nazi.
Nazi, come on, man.
I told you to get away from me several times. I feel threatened by your presence. You get by me again.
My mere presence isn't.
Action. Get the fuck away from me.
What does that mean? You're gonna have to take action.
You know, I feel threatened. I feel
Right,
threatened.
by my mere
Listen,
presence.
I've read your death threats to people.
I haven't wrote any death threats to
you have.
anybody.
Get the fuck away.
The sidewalk's only 3 feet, and I'm not doing. My mere presence is not a threat.
But you stop walking and camera in people's faces, TJ.
My camera is as close to my body as it can be.
Please keep
I stopped
Okay.
walking, but he was screaming at me.
Got me?
I thought he
All
was.
right.
So,
I have not. No,
Oh,
I have
I'm
not.
sorry. I'm trying to find the damn button here.
Yeah.
so,
Wait, this was enough.
so with that whole interaction, like, one thing that's really important is they're always like, you're right up in somebody's face. You're with your camera and your microphone. Well, the sidewalk is literally only 3 feet wide. I cannot get any further away from anybody than I am. And I hold my phone on a this specific tripod right here. This is what I use, and I hold it right to my chest so I can have the conversations with people.
Well, you even said that. You said I can't hold it any closer to my chest than what I have.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, it's
And they still call me an instigator.
Yeah. Well, and then who started yelling first? Who started saying that you were a threat? Who started with the threatening
Bike guy.
tone of, yeah,
Bike guy.
I mean, it's like a threatening tone of voice. He is more of the threat than you are, because it's not like you're screaming at him, and it's not like you were hitting him over the head or stepping on his toes and getting up in his
words
face.
are violence, Marty. Words are
Oh,
violence.
yeah.
Which silence?
I mean,
is
it literally
violence,
started
too.
out with
I don't
me
get it.
saying, hey, bike guy, good to see you. And he's like, hey, and he turns around and sees it's me, and he goes, hey, Nazi. And I'm like, Nazi? Come on, man. Like, you just got to call me a Nazi right off the bat, you know, like that, you know, and then he's like, if you keep talking or stay around me, I'm going to have to take action. I'm like, take action? What's that mean? Like, okay, buddy. Like, what are you going to do? Ride away on your bike?
Yeah, I'm hoping it's not me. I mean, I know I have some issues with my multiple personalities and all, but
Yeah,
I'm
sure,
pretty
Marty.
certain I'm not bike guy. A lot of people think I might be, you know, Henry McPatrick or Steve McHenry or Steve McQueen or something like that, but I'm pretty certain I'm not bike guy.
Yeah.
Rain
I
says
have
he was a
nicknames
super
for
nice guy.
nicknames for all of them. I have nicknames for all of them. And there's this one guy, he's always like, you're in disguise. You're not wearing a MAGA hat and you're a spy. And I'm like, I don't know. I call that guy Archie Bunker. But but I mean, he's always telling me, is that it? Is that the guy? Oh shit. Oh, Rob has the video. Okay.
I can agree with that one. How you doing today?
How you doing?
Oh, you know, I'm living the dream, you know.
You still supporting pedophiles and create hate and division?
I'm not how do I create hate and division? I'm very kind. I'm very kind. How do I create hate?
So you're in disguise. You don't wear your stupid MAGA shit.
Well, it's not me being in disguise. I mean, how many times? Look, ask her. She's seen me out here how many times, and I'm very open about the fact that I'm a Trump supporter. MAGA GOP released all federal info in the Epstein files
workers, not billionaires. Did you see they released 150,000 files yesterday?
Yeah, and 80% of it is redacted.
No, 119 pages are redacted.
Out of the first 2,000.
No, out of the entire thing. And that,
And they redacted not just Trump's name, other people's names, telephone numbers, addresses. We're not talking about the victims. We're talking about the perpetrators.
right,
I'm done.
but I mean, who wrote the Transparency Act? It was Ro Khanna that wrote the Transparency Act, him and Thomas Massey, right? And in there it says anybody that's currently under investigation is to be redacted from the files too. And that was a Democrat that wrote that in there. It wasn't, I can agree with that one. How are you doing today?
Huh. That poor lady is, her hair seems to be thinning there on top. Very sorry to see that. Yeah. Nice. Very nice.
Yep. Yeah, that's the guy that calls me like a spy or whatever. But that lady, I have had several conversations with her. And there was one protest that I was at where they were playing copyrighted music on their speakers really loud. And so it took down my entire stream.
Yep.
And but in that protest that got taken down, the guy from the last video, the one with the resist sign or whatever, the Euro creep or whatever the fuck he said, that guy took my phone and ripped it out of my tripod and threw it on the ground. And a whole bunch of people that were there, Democrats, came and backed me up. And that woman actually came over and spoke to me privately after the fact and said, hey, that wasn't right that he did that.
Good
so,
for her.
you know, as
Good for
much
her.
as I disagree with that lady, her and I did have one good conversation where she felt that me being assaulted was wrong. Well, and that's good, you know, because I get assaulted every damn time, you know?
Yeah.
Well, I like the fact that, yes, Trump is mentioned in the Epstein files about 20,000 times. And every single time it's because Epstein did not like Trump. Trump was the first one to, bring charge, basically work with the police to make sure he was arrested kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago and got him arrested. And it was the Florida prosecution. And then, and Trump was going after him to expose him. And that's the whole thing. It was all the talk was, how are we going to entrap Trump? How are we going to get rid of this guy, Trump? The fact that Epstein was talking to people in Congress by text while they were trying to get Trump, it's like, none of these people understand that. Yeah, he's in there, but just because you're in the Epstein files doesn't mean you're diddling kids. Unlike Bill Clinton, unlike Joe Biden, unlike, Barack Obama's not diddling. Well, yes, he was diddling kids.
But I mean, Barack Obama murdered a 16-year-old American citizen, Anwar, what was his name? Abdulrahman Anwar al-Awlaki. He dropped a bomb on that cafe in Syria. Barack Obama killed an American citizen without judicial approval and killed that 16-year-old kid and in Syria. Or no, in Yemen. In Yemen, when we were not at war with Yemen.
And Sam brings up the fact that, yes, when Clinton testified today, he basically said Trump had nothing to do with Epstein. I mean, Clinton is
100%.
He's Hillary Clinton said, "Oh, I never met him. I didn't even know who he was." And then and it's like, and let's show you like 45 pictures of you, palling around with him. But yeah, so it's not going to. Here's the thing, and I always thought this was the brilliance of Trump saying, quit paying attention to Epstein, and Elon saying, oh, Trump's in the Epstein files. And getting everybody on the left to go, Epstein, 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 Epstein. And now they're going to release 4.4 terabytes of Epstein information in the next couple of days. And a lot of people are going down. I mean, the funny thing is he basically baited them into rooting for their own destruction by thinking they were going to, once again, get Trump. We got to get Trump.
So,
And,
we're way off in the bushes here on Epstein.
Yeah, I know.
God, I'm so sick of this guy. I'm glad he's dead. I'm glad Hillary killed him.
Well,
allegedly. And so the thing is that the Biden administration and the Democrats had these files the 4 years that they were in charge. Nothing came out, so there's nothing there. End of story. Let's move on. I mean, if they're going to prosecute, they'll prosecute. If not, who cares? It's just infuriating because I got people who nonstop send, oh, here's the picture of Trump. Here's the video that proves it. And it's always bullshit. And it's like I get tired of watching their bullshit. And so, I gotta hate this Epstein guy.
Yeah,
I really hate him.
It's sort of like, it's sort of like arguing election integrity. It's like, anybody that doesn't think the 2020 election wasn't stolen is, is carrying water for the left, or has a dog in the race, or is an idiot.
Or is an idiot, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's like I've gotten so much information from Georgia, from Arizona, from Wisconsin, that basically show without any shred of a doubt that, this thing was going on. The reason they took Maduro out of Venezuela was not because he was had sent his paramilitary gangs into the United States. It's not that he was killing between 90 and 100,000 people with drug overdoses a year in the United States. It was because he was the key to all the election theft that happened in 2020. It's, the Dominion, ES&S, all the election machines, most of them were being run, as a matter of fact, Dominion was owned by a Venezuelan company. So it's like, they now have all the information they need. And it's just, the problem is you can't dump all this information because nobody would believe it. It would be overload. It would just be, everybody's head would explode. So you keep, I've known this for a long time, and the same thing with Epstein. And you just get sick and tired of going, can you just release the information and get this crap over with? And it's like, and then you realize it has to be trickled out. But I have zero patience for like Epstein or election, 2020 election, and all the other stuff that, my tinfoil hat told me was right, 4 or 5 years ago. Because it's just, it drags on you. I mean,
it does. It does.
It's one of those days when it's like, I want to go back to heavy drinking, damn it.
I do want to go back to heavy drinking, definitely. But here's an unhinged Democrat. And what's going on here, DJ?
So this is the No Kings Part 2. And when I went to this one, I actually hired private security to follow me around. Because at that point, I had gotten to the point where people knew me and people were pissed that I was at the protest. So I hired private security, cost me $120 for 2 hours. And but I had a private security guard following me around during this protest. And this guy, this is shortly after Charlie Kirk had been assassinated. And this guy says Charlie Kirk deserved it, and Donald Trump is going to die next year, meaning this year. And so that's kind of what this guy is. And he's just kind of a loony bin. He's not a regular. I don't think I've seen him since. And he was probably one of the ones that were bussed in for that protest.
Yeah, he doesn't look familiar at all. Let me play this.
The pedophile?
I'll let you know when the mic
What do you think about the Joe Biden or Ashley Biden diary, where she said that
it's all to distract from Trump and all his criminal activity.
If all the Epstein stuff is just to distract from that, is that what you're saying? Or?
No, not Epstein, because that'll prove that he's a pedophile. Hell, he's already a rapist.
Yeah.
Multiple felon, 34 counts.
Okay, and that was those 34 counts was one charge and over 34 different times, but the banks even said that they weren't defrauded, right?
And if he doesn't die in office when his term's up, he's going to prison. But he'll be dead probably by July 4th. That'd be a great day for him.
You think it would be good if President Trump died?
Oh, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, this is full-on fascism.
Well, I mean, if he was that much of a fascist, wouldn't he have stopped the 2020 election and not walked away? I mean, and he went through all the court processes. He would have just said, no, I'm...
No, he got beat legitimately.
Okay, but I mean, if he was a fascist, he would have said too bad and just taken control of the country by military force, right?
Well, yeah, it's normally what fascists do.
Right, so then we can agree that he didn't do those fascist things, right?
I'm not going to agree to that.
Well, the things we just laid out, he didn't do those things, right?
Well, I'm not sure about that.
Well, I mean, he didn't.
Every charge he was brought up on during and after his first term were.
Do you think that was institutionalized lawfare on the part of the Democrats?
No, I think they're following the rule of law.
Okay, do you think what Trump is doing now is institutionalized lawfare?
Violating the Constitution every day. Yeah, he could be convicted of treason.
You think so?
Yeah, I mean, if the Democrats have any polls, that I don't have a lot of faith in the Democrat Party, but you know, as far as the other parties, they're gone.
But
Yeah.
they did get their speakers over there.
And as far as Charlie Kirk is, fuck Charlie Kirk.
Really? That's a bold thing to say online, man.
Well, if you're going to spew white nationalist, Nazi, racist bullshit, then expect to get shot.
What did he say that was white nationalist or Nazi? Do you got a quote?
It's been a long time since I was on social media.
Well, it's been a long time since I've been on social media, but I've been drinking whiskey every morning, and the little genie that lives in the bottom of the bottle has told me Trump is a pedophile. Didn't you read my shirt, damn it?
Yeah, I mean, Charlie Kirk is white supremacist, nationalist, Nazi. And it's like, okay, well, when did he say that? And, well, I'm not on social media. So you're just making it up. Is that what you're saying? You don't actually know that. Somebody just told you that. Can you actually quote me anything that he said? You know, I've gone through a lot of PPUSA videos, and I've never seen Charlie Kirk go, you know, hey, you know, we're white nationalists. We need to get rid of these, you know, whatevers. So
one of my, I don't want to call it, for lack of a better term, one of my superpowers down there when I go into these protests is what I call Operation Let Them Speak. Because I'm just like, and you can hear my responses. I'm like, oh, wow, that's pretty bold. Like, you want to tell me more? You know, I let them just rant, and it makes them, the more they talk, the more they sound insane.
Yeah.
And I love that fact. But like, listen, I need to say this over and over and over. I don't go down there to make them sound insane. I don't go down there to make them antagonize them. I go down there
job all by themselves. Yeah, they make themselves.
Yeah, I go down there because I love them, honestly. Like, deep in my heart, I love these people. This is our community. We all have to be a community together, whether we agree on these federal issues or not. And that's, I just want that to be the main thing that everybody takes away from when I go down there. Is I'm there to be kind. I'm there to bring our community together. And as a matter of fact, I took my pastor from my church down there one time, and I was able to stay more calm than my pastor because he wasn't used to dealing with these people. He wasn't used to dealing with these people, and that live stream is also available. But yeah, I've developed a skin, you know, and I've developed a relationship with some of the like Emily that was on here, or Marlo, or whatever the fuck she wants to go by, and Greg or whatever his last name is. I know what his last name is. I'm not gonna say it on here. I don't want to dox him, but Greg. The things I have to say about Greg, he will have conversations. However, he is disingenuous in his answers. You know, me and Greg have had problems. Me and Greg have had battles throughout these protests, and we've gotten to the point where we can talk to each other, but he's not 100% honest in his conversations. He was at the Dr. Frank meetings, you know, and everything like that. And, you know, he did ask some really good questions. He does have asked good questions. His main gripe is billionaires. Like, he really hates billionaires for some reason. Like, that's kind of, I mean, his whole thing. But I've had good conversations with Greg. I've had good conversations with Emily. I've had good conversations with a lot of the like organizers. Rocky even bought me a beer at Coney Station one time. You know, like, so I don't want to say that all these people are bad, and I don't want to say they're all retarded. Well, I kind of want to say they're all retarded.
Well,
but
tell you what, I'll do it. They're all bad.
Yeah, they're all retarded. Yeah, but no. But I mean, they. If they just took a little bit of time to see what Republicans are thinking, they would be able to have better conversations with me. You know, I love these people.
I talked to Greg recently. He was at the meeting that we had for Dr. Frank. You were there, weren't you?
Yeah.
Okay, you filmed that, I believe. So I was there, and him and another couple of people were not going after him, I shouldn't say, but very highly assertively questioning Dr. Frank about his data that he has put up on the board that he was talking about, the different charts and all that good stuff. And I thought it was wonderful because no one from our side said a word. We just sat there quietly and allowed them to basically make fools of themselves, because Dr. Frank had a retort to every single one of their challenges. It was beautiful. And I have learned that, like you said, the magic trick is to let them speak, let them talk. And a lot of times it's good to ask them questions and not even question them, or I like to say debate them on when they answer it. Just let them answer a question that you totally disagree with what they're saying, but just let it lie and then go on to the next question. That's what I was trying to do with what's her name? Marley? What was your
Emily Marley?
Emily Marley. Yeah, I'll have to figure it out.
Three names.
Yeah, well, and there's that, and that's where, you know, my logic completely, you know, just falls apart. Dr. Frank, he's in his element. You question Dr. Frank's data, and he can talk for hours about, you know, the validity of his data and the statistics of how this data comes together. And, you know, and the thing is, you know, and I've looked into some of this data, and I'm like, yeah, he's pretty much, what he's saying is true. Because before I started working on it, I was like, you know, some of this seems fantastic. It seems, you know, it seems unlikely. And just because I want it to be so doesn't make it so. So there are times when I will actually dig into other people's data and go, okay, you know, show me how you did this, or I'll figure it out. In some cases, I just figure it out and go, okay, this is how you did it, and my data turns out to be exactly the same.
Well,
so,
and the thing is that if you understand it, Marty, and you look at it like you're saying, it took me a couple of takes on what he was saying for me to grasp that this is really happening. That this is that we had natural voting, natural registrations back in the 70s, and then all of a sudden we have this apparently artificial, because it's mathematically impossible that all of a sudden the counties aligned mathematically to have the same number of people who register to vote and who are taken out at the same time. It's just amazing.
Yeah. I mean, the same number of, I think it was 34 out of 36 counties.
Yeah.
Because like Wheeler County, who cares? It's only 1,200 people. But, you know, the same percentage of people left the county and came into the county in the same, you know, in the same time frame. That's the churn. And then there's also the you know, a number of people that registered to vote changed exactly the same percentage. Every single
Right.
county changed exactly the same. That
That
just
can't be
ain't
possible.
natural.
That's
There's
not
no
possible.
way. Oh, unless it's being run by an outside system like
Right.
Eric and and all the NGOs that are feeding Eric and the DMV and so forth and so on. So go ahead, TJ. You're
So
waving your
I
fingers.
wasn't at the first Dr. Frank thing. I was at the one at the Friends of Coos County Republicans meeting. But the first one was live streamed by Michael Garza.
Yeah.
He's at Real Garza on YouTube. He's a local YouTuber. He does mostly financial stock trading, things like that. So, but he's the one that live streamed the Michael Garza or the Dr. Frank live stream at first. And but yeah, he comes down to some of the protests when I'm there, but he is not like an interviewer or anything like that. He just goes down to troll them, and he sings like rap songs about how much he loves Joe Biden, and just kind of messes with the protesters. But his YouTube channel is mostly about finance, and he goes through like some political stuff. He often takes my live streams from the protests and breaks down the conversations and stuff like that. So Real Garza on YouTube is the one that live streamed the first Dr. Frank thing, and then I live streamed the second one.
Good deal. Good deal. I want to thank you for coming on tonight, TJ. It's been a really entertaining night. I enjoyed the videos. I enjoyed the conversation. Before I get you out of here, is there anything that you want to tell my viewers, not my viewers? I don't own them.
I just want to say to anybody that's watching this, I know a lot of Democrats are going to watch this too, and they're probably going to post about it on Facebook. But I am not going down to your protests out of malice. I am not going down there to antagonize you guys. I love Coos Bay. I love this community, and I want this community to come together. And I think the only way we can bring this community together is by conversation. And when the conversations end, that's when fighting begins. And I don't want to fight with anybody. I want this community to be strong. I want this community to, I mean, we agree on 99.9% of everything. Is that 1.1% we're so passionate about that separates us. And we need to find a way to get together on that. And I just want everybody to know, like, I don't go down there again to antagonize anybody. I go down there because I want to bring our community together, and I love everybody. And if you guys need a good church, I would hope you would attend Allegheny Church. We have our services at 11 a.m. every Sunday. And we have a potluck dinner afterwards every Sunday. And we also live stream on YouTube, and it's just it's a really great place to be. So yeah, that's kind of all I want to say.
Well, that's a mouthful, and I hope people are listening.
It's a good recap. I liked it. I thought it was a really good recap. I mean, at the start, and the problem is we don't have people that are on the show or watching the show or listening to the show from start to finish. So you covered a lot of this at the start of the show. You're not there to be antagonistic. You're not there to poke fun of them. They do a perfectly good job of making themselves look like idiots all by themselves. And you have a technique that I have not mastered, because I will ask questions and they will say idiotic things like, Trump is a racist, or a racist. Trump is a rapist. Trump has got, he's got 34 felonies. And I'm like going, oh, you mean the one where the statute of limitations expired, but they changed the law to make sure that it didn't expire, and then they changed a misdemeanor into a felony, and normally it's just one misdemeanor for the 34 accounting lines that were in there. And and by then they're not listening and they're just screaming at you anyway. And so I normally try to have a measured conversation, but I keep forgetting trying to have a measured conversation with a burbling retarded idiot is impossible, because the only thing they've got going for them is they scream and they yell their little slogans. And there's no way I could do what you're doing, which is going down there and just saying, hey, there are things that we can agree on. I'm not here to pick on you. I'm here to hope that we can all put the community together and live together in peace, because if it turns into a kinetic fight, you guys are going to be the first ones gone. You are the pawns. You are the ones on the chessboard that will be the first ones off the board. So, yeah, not saying that as a threat, mind you. I'm just saying it's a reality of the situation. So I just want to thank you for coming on, because it's been great, and it's great listening to your stories and and watching your videos. And it's just like I said, you're way better than than I am. So,
all right, TJ, I'll talk to you later, man.
All right, thanks, Rob. Thanks, Marty. Have a good
no problem. No.
Have a good night.
And very, very good interview. We got to remind everybody to please, if you want to become a PCP, that's a precinct committee person, March 10th is your deadline. Do you hear that? March 10th is your deadline. You got to get out here. You got to get on to the Secretary of State's website. Marty has a website. I didn't get it put up there. And you can find out what district you're in, what precinct you're in, so that you can go to this website where this QR code takes you and register as a PCP for the Republican Party. If you know any Democrats who are moderates, or, well, let's say you got some right-wing Democrats, I've never seen those critters, but if they exist, get them to sign up as a PCP, and let's try to bring that party back to some kind of normalcy. I don't know. That's my goal, is to get more moderate PCPs for the Democrats. What do you think, Marty? Am I off there?
No. You're absolutely correct. And yes, I wish I could type, I wish I had the ability to type in the website that you can go to that essentially makes becoming a PCP easier, because if you go to CoosIntegrity.com/PCP, it will essentially direct you to the Secretary of State's website, where you can fill out online to be a PCP. It takes like 5 minutes. The biggest question that most people won't be able to answer, because the only questions you have to answer is, what's your first name? What's your last name? What's your mailing address? That kind of thing. But the one question that they'll ask that you might not know is, what is your precinct number or
What's
name?
the website again?
It's CoosIntegrity.com/PCP. Because I don't have the ability to type on this side for some reason, so I suppose they could post it to the comments.
Integrity. How do you spell integrity? INTE integrity. Yeah, INTEGRITY. Integrity.
Correct, sir.
Coos Integrity. It's coming up as a 404 error for some reason. It's weird.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let me do this then. Share a screen. Share a screen. It's
not sharing.
Well, I haven't clicked on it yet.
Oh.
There we go. Allow. I had to do the allow thing, and now add to stage. Boom.
Hey, looky there.
So, how to become a PCP. It's CoosIntegrity.com/PCP. To become a precinct committee person is a person who is a member of a party, Democrat or Republican, and in this case, I don't care one way or the other. But, you're responsible for voter education, engagement, and turnout with their precincts. This May, there's going to be a primary where the PCPs will be elected, but you got to register by March 10th. So to get your name on the ballot, go to the SOS webpage. So there's a link on that page, the blue thing. You click on that and you fill out a form. The form will, once you fill it out, will automatically be sent to the elections office, and you'll be on the ballot by the next day. And if you don't know what your precinct name or your precinct is, then you can just type in your last name, and it will give you your precinct number. Now, in this case, it's pretty easy because there's not a lot of Kuhrts in Coos County, so there we are, But my precinct is 18. Now, I've already signed up, so.
Nice.
But all you have to do is type in your last name, and it'll give you everybody with that last name in the county. You find yours, go down to the right side, and it'll tell you what the precinct is.
Oh, so type in my last name. Type in my last name there.
I could do that.
This is kind of spooky. Oh, looky there.
Yeah, and it's last name and then or last name that has Taylor in it in this case, and then it's alphabetical order by first name. So let's scroll on down to Rob Taylor, and there it is. You're precinct 16.
I am. It's not lying. That's scary. Ooh.
So anyway, it couldn't be easy. It couldn't be easier to fill out the form and become a PCP. The reason we need more PCPs, both on the Democrat and Republican side, is because if you're a PCP and we get to the point where we're doing precinct level elections where you go to a precinct in person with ID and you get a ballot and fill it out, we need people to man those precinct polling stations. And how are we going to man those, man or woman? Well, populate the precinct polling stations. And how are we going to do that if we don't have a bunch of PCPs? So do your part. Be a PCP. And, like I said, I don't care if you're, you have to be a Democrat or a Republican because otherwise it won't show up on the ballot. I don't know. Yeah, you would have to be a Democrat or a Republican because the ballots are sent only to, for PCPs are only sent to Democrats or Republicans. And if you're a NAV, maybe you want to think about changing to, D or R for this election so that you can vote for a PCP.
Yeah.
And
or become one.
Or become a PCP. And,
or
the
take
whole
some.
idea is,
smoke some PCP for a change.
Smoke some PCP. Yeah. I mean, hey, we're liberal about drug laws. Let's smoke some PCP. So there you go. Become a precinct committee person.
Wow, that was more information than you'll get anywhere else at this time of night about elections. Guaranteed. I guarantee you're not going to get this kind of information anywhere else this late at night.
Yeah, since you qualified it with. Oh, and by the way, that list, the list of names came out of the Coos County voter roll for January 5th of this year. So if you're registered to vote after that, you won't be there. And if you've changed anything since then, it'll be off. But the precinct, I'm doing the best I can with the materials given. So, and this is not the full voter roll. All I wanted was first name, last name, party, address, so you can say, oh yeah, that's mine. Because there are some people that do have a lot of last names the same. So
that's part of the snapshots that Dr. Frank was talking about that the clerk doesn't see, is that every day that churn happens. And when they go and someone asks them for the voter registration, they just go to the state's website, download the voter registration and hand it to the person. And what it says is what it is. And they don't know what it was yesterday or the day before that, especially in a small county where they may not have checked it that day.
Yeah. Yeah. And the thing is if it, the thing is we can't harsh on our county election people. I can harsh on Brecky all I want because she's the county clerk and she rides over the county election people. But the county election people, they are doing their job. They are making the changes at the county level. So if somebody dies or if somebody moves in or moves out, they take care of that. The problem is it's not in their control. The voter rolls are done at the state level. They just get copies at the county level. And so, the county updates they'll go back up to the state level. But now you got corporations, you got like Eric doing changes. You got the DMV doing changes. You got the OHA doing changes. And it's like, okay, well, who's actually watching the watchers? And that's our biggest problem. Our voter rolls are super dirty. And we
Yeah.
don't know. I mean, we don't know who, if our voter rolls are clean. I mean, let's say I ran for clerk and I took over the job. The first thing I'd do is say, we're no longer taking our voter rolls from the state. Our voter rolls are going to be done at the county level only. If the DMV or anybody else would like to send us suggestions on how to change the rolls, we'll certainly look at them, but we're going to run everything in-house now because that way we know who's who and we know our neighbors. And that's the way to do it, I think.
That's the way to do it. Yeah.
So let's get on to the commercials. Oh, and I put up Jeff. Jeff was nice enough to type in the URL, so I popped that
was
up for
nice.
a second.
That was very nice. Thank you, Jeff. Good job, sir.
So anyway, onto our commercials for the end of the show, because it sounds like Rob wants to wrap it up, and I'm like,
oh, my butt is so numb right now. I got to get up, man. I'm 2.5 hours in. I'm sure. And then once I stand up, I'm going to realize I have to go to the restroom. So nothing's going to be pleasant about this.
Yeah, I've been drinking lots of water, so it's bladder time. And plus the fact that when I was skiing the last couple of days, on one day I went on a run that was a little over my ability to ski, because they have greens and blues and blacks and black diamonds and so forth. And I got on one that was not only a little over my ability, but it was glare ice after I got around one corner, which I didn't know until I got around that corner. And so I lost control and I skidded headfirst on my back for about 150 yards.
Nice.
And so, yeah, butt hurt, got some of that going on, baby.
Yeah. Skiing.
So let's get to the
commercial.
commercial portion of our program so that we can go enjoy the rest of our, anyway. So 3H Tree Service, if you got a tree that's over your garage, over your driveway, it's just annoying the crap out of you, or if it's a dangerous thing, call 3H Tree Service. They're bonded, they're licensed, and they do a really good job. It's 541-294-1800. That's 541-294-1800. 3H Tree Service. Next slide, please. There we go. Tom and Gigs, if you got a car or a truck and you want to make sure it's running properly, you can go to Tom and Gigs because not only are they really good mechanics, they're on 135 South Shoneman Street in Coos Bay, or kind of in the Empire area. But, hey, go get your car checked. If you're going on a long trip, they can check it out and see if it's okay. And they have lift kits, they have performance accessories, and they have a lot of great stuff to, accessorize your car or truck. But not only that, they have real cars and real trucks, but they also have they have the the electric ones. They have the RC cars. In this case, it looks like a drone. It's a quad helicopter, and there's your quad helicopter. But then they have RC cars as well, and all sorts of accessories, RC trucks, and a boat even. So Tom and Gigs, for all your you got a boat that's even cooler than the boat I have, which is a 12-foot Alumacraft. So everything's cooler than that. Or you could get a Hero copter, or a different type of helicopter, or a military version of the Hero copter.
That's
needless to say, they have a lot of RC stuff. Here's a plane.
Marty, I would put ice on the side of that helicopter and fly it into certain areas just to see people.
Oh, yeah.
Emigra, hurry, underlay.
Yeah, maybe have a big boom box going, playing Ice Baby.
Yeah, there you go.
Ding, 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 ding.
It's a little helicopter.
Yeah, little helicopters doing choreography to Ice Baby.
That'd be cool. And they got Tannerite.
Not only that, but they have Tannerite. So you have to be 18 and show ID to get Tannerite. You don't have to show ID to vote, but you have to vote. You have to show ID to blow things up. So
right.
I don't know.
And you have to have ID to buy Herbal Choices too.
You have to have ID just to walk into Herbal Choices, and you got to be 21 years or older. Herbal Choices is your choice for cannabis and chewies and gummies and all sorts of fun. They've got 5 convenient locations. There's one in Coos Bay, there's one in North Bend, there's one in Charleston, there's one in Bandon, and Reedsport. That's right, herbal choices. And if you're going to the Coos Bay one, be careful in that driveway because it's dinky.
It is dinky. It is dinky. It is very much
Yeah.
so dinky. Let's see if I can get this back up there. There we go.
And there we go. So Oregon Firearms Federation is not a sponsor of the Rob Taylor Report, but we are supporting the Oregon Firearms Federation because they have zero compromise when it comes to your Second Amendment rights. So go to OregonFirearms.org and you can, pitch some money in because they're running a lot of lawsuits to make sure that the people that are violating our constitutional rights won't get away with it. So Oregon Firearms Federation, OregonFirearms.org, he said, eventually.
Eventually, kind of, sort of.
Kind of, sort of, almost even.
Almost even. Bandit Gun Club at banditgunClub.org. Come check it out if you want to hone your skills. And TiagaSportsPark.org. Very busy place, so give them a call before you go out there because you got to find out if they're open. And, of course, Coos County Neighborhood Watch Facebook group. Not my sponsors, but they're a really cool group on Facebook if you're interested in crime happening in the county. And, of course, Coos County Citizen Council, the Chris Castleman group, and they show a podcast every Wednesday. Tomorrow, we will be at the Memorial Cemetery on Ocean Boulevard. It's we'll be up there with our American flags at 8:00 to celebrate Tom, who was a patriot, true patriot. We're gonna miss him, and it's we're gonna see quite a few good friends, and I hope a lot of people show up. I wish we had more time to advertise, but these things happen so suddenly.
Yeah, talk about suddenly. Yeah. What a great guy, and he'll certainly be missed because he's just, always around and always lit up a room.
Yeah, always, totally. It was, and he was always reliable. The guy was he was there for all the hard work. That's the true volunteer, like you, Marty. You guys are there for the hard work and not just I'm going to show up and get a selfie and be on my way kind of thing.
Yeah, where is my Fokker shirt anyway? Yeah. But anyway, that's what I'm in it for. I want free T-shirts, damn it.
We got you a Fokker shirt. We got you a Fokker shirt. I forgot about that. Yeah,
Would you rather be a Fokker too? Hey.
You're a Fokker. I'm a Fokker. Yeah, we're really having fun with that.
Be a Fokker.
That's a fun. And so Tom, of course, would be a Fokker. He would be a real motherfucker.
And for all the people that don't know that acronym, it's Friends of Coos County Republicans, or Fokker.
Yep. It's not. We're not cursing here. We're not cursing.
No, we're not. Yeah, we tried. We actually we did a fairly good job of not cursing tonight.
We did. I thought so. I think the videos had more cursing. The Democrats were cursing on the video. That's what it was.
What a surprise. Who would have guessed?
What a surprise. All right, man. Well, I'll see. Are you going to, you're in California. Why am I even asking? Are you going to be there tomorrow? Really?
Yeah, I wish I could be. Yeah. Yeah. Do you know anybody that's got a private jet that could get me from Torrance Airport to Airport to Bandon or something, or Coos Bay? Yeah, that'd be cool. I wish I knew more high-end golfers than I could just say, hey, you're going up to Bandon Dunes. Give me a ride, man.
Yeah.
But I don't.
So 8:00 tomorrow, we'll be doing the flag rally.
Yeah, I'm trying to get back up there as soon as possible. There's some things I want to get done, and got to be there to do them. So, cool. And plus the fact that it was 90 frickin' degrees here today, and I don't like hot weather.
I will trade you. I will take the 90 degrees. I'm all in. All right, man. I'll talk to you later.
Let's call it a show. Thanks for having me on, and I hope everybody out there in podcast land has a great weekend.
Thanks, Marty. And before I get out of here, I want to totally dedicate this show to Tom and his wife, Nancy, I want to thank them for being true patriots and hanging out for the hard stuff, like I said. Thank you, Tom, for all you did. We appreciate it. Carry on, buddy. Carry on forever there, pal.